Hi, welcome back. I'm Scott Williford, CEO and founder of vLink Solutions, and I have with me Russ Young of Action Coach Atlanta. And Russ has been describing for us what a real business is. And just in case you weren't tuned in on our first segment, Russ, give that definition again, because I really think that's key.
A real business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without the owner.
Without the owner. So all of us, many entrepreneurs, and I've been a serial entrepreneur, want to go out and work for ourselves, and it is a rare breed of people that go out and do that. But the whole idea of working without, having the business work without the owner is something that I think a lot of us struggle with.
Absolutely.
What kind of symptoms do you see out there in businesses that can't work without the owner?
Very often the owner has lost track of what they really went to business for. What was the purpose of being in business? What was their goal when they started? And then they get wrapped up so much involved in the business that they don't see that which is beyond the business itself. They lack the opportunity to understand how to structure a business. A business can operate very, very efficiently if it's systematized. When you do, you can get systems in place, systems take over, and allow for things to operate more effectively, efficiently, without the owner. When you have a team in place, and you get the right people, and get the right people on the right bus, and get them in the right seats, it's all very important. You get the right people on board, and then get them the responsibility to develop a little bit farther. Most business owners get so wrapped up that they are the only ones that can do the job. They're the only ones that know what's happening. And they don't understand that delegation, not abdication, but delegation has the opportunity to create a greater synergy for everybody to create more for their business.
So delegation and building the right team is a big part of that, and I understand that. But you mentioned systematize,
right?
Which kind of, in my mind, and having an engineering background myself, I understand process and formulas. So can you give us an example of a client that you've worked with recently or over the years that they had a profitable business if they could systematize it, and then you helped them go in and figure out where are some of the buttons they needed to push to really create that?
Certainly.
And I know I put you on the spot.
That's okay. That's all right.
I'm testing your skills.
Well, take one particular individual whose ability to create software, specialized software for other operations and efficient businesses.
Okay.
Actually spent most of the time doing the writing themselves, the code writing, developing. Had hired a number of individuals to bring on more work, more opportunity, and was really wrapped up, but never could leave the business itself because was afraid that the code was going to be off. Had to check everything, double check, triple check, and so on. Would bring on great individuals with great talents, but never allowed them the opportunity to grow and develop in that area. It took a lot of thinking and redoing of understanding how to do it effectively. At the same time, they had individuals who were answering the phone, doing other things that were continually turning over and never having the same routine. We learned how to do a procedure and a policy so that anybody that could walk in knew what to do, when to do it, and how to do it without having to be retrained and redeveloped. You can do that with a team, you do that with a process, you do it with technology in many different ways. It depends on the business. Every business is unique, yet every business is the same.
So this software company, they had a founder who was a code writer, and they began to basically go out and acquire some clients, and I'm kind of reading into this a little bit. They began to acquire some clients, and in the process, he pretty much was doing everything himself. And then through just the requirement to try and grow his business, he hired more developers.
Correct.
But he still wasn't letting them do the work.
Correct. Correct. And very often they come in and they would do all the basic work, but he had to go back and redo everything, recheck everything. He'd hired some of the best minds around, the superstars out of Georgia Tech or out of other areas, that they were really doing the work, but they really never had the opportunity to grow. They were being stifled. They were being frustrated. So he started developing turnover of staff. Couldn't get good staff.
Right.
Because he never understood how to delegate, how to let go a little bit, how to help others do the process.
Right.
And you can systematize almost anything. And we drive to work the same way every day. We go to our office or place of business every day the same way. We've done it because it's a system. We don't think about it. It's done automatically. The more you can do automatically, the more you have time to do other things. The more you can teach others to do things automatically, the more efficient they become.
Right. So that block and tackle business management
Absolutely.
is a lot of what you teach. So what I want to do is I want us to continue the conversation, because the logical next step of having a business function without the owner is that transition, where there's a lot of us small businesses who eventually want to sell our companies or let our companies operate so that we can play more golf or go fishing or whatever our passion may be.
Absolutely.
As you mentioned earlier, family is obviously real important to you and I. So I'm Scott Williford, founder and CEO of vLink Solutions. We're having a great conversation with Russ Young of Action Coach Atlanta, and we'll be back with the next segment where we'll dive into this whole idea of transition and how to take your company to the next level. Thank you, and we'll see you on our next segment.